ARB fridge-freezer combination. So now we have a dry place to sleep, protection all the way around, a renewable power source, and tons of storage. But we're not done yet. If you want a true dedicated expedition vehicle, you need a few more things. We need to carry a lot more water and possibly the ability to have a hot shower out on the trail. Then and only then will this rig be expedition ready. For details on any of the products seen in today's episode, head on over to powerblocktv.com.
We'll check out the only 67 Shelby GT convertible ever built in a few minutes. But first, let's head over to Horsepower for our own one-of-one Mustang.
Today's Horsepower brought in Steve Harris to apply his artistry to a new 5-liter Mustang. Steve's one of the best in the business, and this will be one of our best ever project vehicles. It's on the verge of an amazing performance build before we give it away. A one-of-a-kind pony celebrating Edelbrock's 75 years of high performance.
The new 5-liter Mustang's a potent performer right from the factory, but who says there's ever enough? Wait till you see what's in store for this anniversary pony after a baseline run on our chassis dyno. The stock engine's rated at 420 horsepower at the flywheel, which should translate to about 360 at the rear wheel. We got it, 361. That Coyote engine's really going to howl after we give it an Edelbrock E4 supercharger. And Vic, looks like things have come a long way since your dad came out with that product in 1938 or 40. Why did you call it a slingshot?
Well, they called it a slingshot because it's a two-piece manifold, and if you look at the top, it holds the two carburetors. So if you didn't like it, you take the top off, the carburetors off, and you actually had a slingshot.
But the Ford guys did like it. And Vic Sr. proved that by raising compression and burning methanol, the Flathead could be a race engine like Henry Ford never imagined.
3 weeks before Pearl Harbor, and with this manifold on his Flathead, went almost 122 miles an hour. And he was doing it with the right hand steering the steering wheel and the left hand pumping a dash-mounted fuel pump because there were no electric fuel pumps or that to handle the additional fuel that you needed for methanol.
Now, 75 years after the slingshot, we're about to use a new performance package on another Ford engine.
We work very hard at this because you'll see our systems at 5.5, 6 pounds of boost. And that's all we need to get that 140 horsepower out of there. Everything else is stock, and that car really appreciates it, and it's a real fun thing to drive.
Edelbrock's 75-year history is full of high-performance innovations and milestones. Like in 1955 when Chevy introduced its legendary small block V8. Edelbrock led the industry with products to give it more power.
We made a manifold for it was 20 horsepower, a header was a 20 horsepower, and right on up the ladder, and everybody had a big smile on their face. When we got the horsepower up, it was respectable, and that took off. That was a real milestone.
With the death of his father in 1962, Vic Jr. took over the company and continued the Edelbrock tradition of making leading-edge performance parts for racers and hot rodders alike. During the 70s, when emissions issues challenged the industry, rather than ignore them, Edelbrock addressed them head-on.
We made some equipment that helped the surging of the emission-related 1973 cars that were so lean that they were misfiring at 2,000, 2,500 RPM, and we could put our tarantula manifold on there, which was a semi-race manifold, and the distribution was so much better that it solved that, so that picked up performance, drivability, and actually lowered emissions.
Throughout the 80s, 90s, and beyond, the company continued to grow, to develop new performance parts, and open its own foundries to ensure consistent quality aluminum castings for a growing product line.
Cylinder heads in the 1992 was another one, and that completed our power package. So we had a carburetor, manifold, camshaft, and cylinder heads. got into crate engines with all this stuff installed, and then along came the supercharging.
The EFI E4 system was designed in-house at Edelbrock's R&D department, cast at the Edelbrock foundry, precision machined, and assembled at the main headquarters. The Made in the USA legacy lives on, now with the new 5-liter E4s and many more innovations to come.
Just take one step at a time and follow my father's saying that, son, make your product like you're going to want it on your car or your race car and get it done right.
Now it's time to help Vic carry on the legacy. When we come back, we'll show you how to install his new system and how to play with it.
I need new struts for my 2000 Toyota. Let me see struts by AC Delco, Monroe, and any under $50.
We might be able to get some struts from the warehouse.
Why watch the counterman tap on his computer and hope he chooses the right part? Go to rockauto.com. Auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. Choose the brands, prices, and features you want. Auto parts at the lowest price. Conveniently delivered to your home or business. Log on to rockauto.com. All the parts your car will ever need.
Win the ultimate performance experience. It's the Edelbrock 75th Anniversary Mustang Giveaway. An awesome $50,000 package featuring a one-of-one signature edition Mustang, complete with Edelbrock E4 SuperCharger, Ford racing upgrades, and VIP trip for 2 to the SEMA show in Las Vegas as Vic's personal guest. Celebrate the innovators and legends of American muscle and enter to win this ultimate performance experience.
Made in the US of A.
Enter online now to win.
Drifting is an amazing sport. Trading paint, smoking tires, and of course the sound of screaming engines. I'm Vaughn Gittin Jr., and I rock MagnaFlow exhaust.
Buy your new MagnaFlow exhaust now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Original recipe? Dad, I think you ate the bones.
I ate the bones? It's KFC original recipe without the bones. White or dark meat, boneless and skinless. Get 4 pieces in your next 10-piece mixed bucket for $14.99. Today tastes so good.
The most incredible suit sale at Joseph A. Bank is almost over, with suits as low as $199. You can't find our quality suits at these prices anywhere else. All summer suits just $199 through Saturday at Joseph A. Bank.
When it comes to your classic, it's hard to put a price on love. At Haggerty, we work with you to set a guaranteed value for your car. Then we pay you that much if it's totaled, guaranteed. Haggerty, we may sell insurance, but we live classics.
Vitamin Water is out to make everything that's boring brilliant, starting with this delayed flight.
Folks, looks like it's going to be another 45-minute delay. Sorry about that.
Really?
Seriously?
Treat what's boring. We'll make it brilliant. Vitamin Water.
With Peak Motor Oil, you know exactly what's going into your car. 65 years of experience in hot and cold protection and a history of no-nonsense American quality. Peak is an independent, family-owned business full of real car guys. And what gets our motor going is giving you what's right for your engine and your wallet. Peak. Run true.
Need diesel exhaust fluid for your new diesel vehicle? Peak's Blue Def meets every manufacturer's requirement at a great price.
I gotta have that badonkadonk butt. Oh, and a side of back fat.
With greasy fast food, what are you really getting?
Oh.
Instead, try the tempting Subway Smokehouse Barbecue Chicken, a mere 6 grams of fat and part of a Subway Fresh Fit meal. Subway, eat fresh.
My name is Brian Thompson, Yeoman First Class. I spent 9 years in the Navy, helping operations run more efficiently. Now I'm a State Farm agent, running my own business and helping to make my community a better place to live.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Portis. How you doing?
Spike salutes State Farm for recruiting Brian Thompson and for their commitment to improving the lives of veterans. To find out what you can do, go to hireavet.spike.com.
Hey guys, we're back with the Shelby specialist who restored this priceless one-of-one Shelby GT convertible. This is Jeff Yurgovich from RNA Motorsports. Welcome back to Power Block, Jeff.
Thanks, Courtney. I'm glad to be back on Power Block.
Now this is exciting because this may be the rarest and most expensive car we've ever had on the block.
It's definitely the rarest car we've ever had in our shop. And owners, Brian and Samantha Stiles, had purchased it from a previous owner that did not understand the quality of a restoration. It was done very poorly.
Unbelievable, but you and Brian understood how valuable it was.
Brian and Samantha were very good. They would not let us touch a single nut and bolt on this car until the research was complete. Then we were able to start the restoration.
Wow. What makes it so rare?
They made one 67 Shelby in 1967 as a promotional engineering car. It was used in more photographs than any other Shelby in history. No other 67 Shelby convertibles were ever made, and later it became the styling car for the 68 model year.
Power Block is brought to you by RockAuto.com. Now with a special selection of quality Trico wiper blades at wholesaler closeout prices.
More with Jeff and how his team restored this rare car, and you'll meet the owner coming up. But right now, back to horsepower and more on our own special Mustang.
It's a 75th anniversary Mustang about to be loaded with Edelbrock's latest E4 Supercharger and a few more surprises to come.
The first 3 dozen or so steps of the installation process involve removing parts so the E4 Supercharger kit can go on, like the radiator shroud, both wheel well liners, and after a few disconnections, the front fascia. Now the strut tower brace needs to go. And while it's not mandatory, we can get to the engine easier with the car's hood out of the way. We disconnect this PCV tube from the air inlet and valve cover and pull away the engine cover.
You're going to have to remove your induction roller resonator tube. Now this feature Mustang owners either love, because without it it's too quiet, or they hate it, because it's basically just a fake sound pumped into the cockpit. Now either way, ours is getting removed and replaced with a grommet. After removing the 2 evap tubes and solenoid, we can get rid of this stock air inlet assembly. Then remove the throttle body, which we'll reuse later. At this point, we need to drain the radiator, but only until the level is below the intake flange. Next, we detach the fuel injector electrical connections, and using the shop towel to absorb excess gas, we can disconnect the fuel line from the rail.
We'll try to pull this, John, with the injectors and the rail so fuel doesn't go everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Now, it's all about freeing up the stock intake manifold and removing it. Of course, we want to immediately cover the exposed cylinder head ports and remove the manifold's O-rings for later use. Next, the foam bumper comes off so we can remove the plastic shrouds on each side of the radiator. In fact, we're removing the wheels and tires for additional performance upgrades underneath.
All right, pull it out.
Now, to avoid stretching the brake lines, we're removing the calipers and getting them out of the way. Now we can free up the rear sway bar and remove it, and the same goes for the panhard bar. Now we can free up the shocks from their lower mounts, remove the springs, and unbolt the shocks on top to finish our teardown out back.
Up front, we want to get the brake calipers out of the way in order to get to the sway bar end-link bolts. Then we can remove the top strut bolts, and using a jack to support the lower control arms, remove the struts. Finally, the sway bar can come out, which winds up our suspension teardown.
That means we can get to work using a performance package from the second partner in this Coyote Mustang project.
A supercharged Mustang needs a super suspension to handle all the extra power, and that's exactly what we're going to give it with this Ford Racing handling pack. Now this thing comes completely assembled, and it's designed to give the car a more road course attitude without sacrificing any of the handling. Now it's going to lower the car right at 1 inch, so let's get started. The shocks are the same used in Mustang road race cars, with Ford Racing's own performance tune. The lowering springs not only improve the stance, but they're progressive for increased handling and dynamics. Now we'll raise the rear end a few inches and finish bolting up the shocks. And move on to the adjustable panhard bar we set to the stock length. The sway bar is designed to improve handling too, and after it's bolted in place, we can lube the supplied sway bar links, bolt one into the factory bracket, raise the bar, and finish the install. And that's it for the rear suspension.
The front struts are fully assembled with new mounts. And after securing them on top, we can bolt them to the spindles and replace the brake calipers. Finally, the stiffer front sway bar gets bolted up, and that wraps up our suspension upgrade.
The front sway bar has 3 locations for the end link to mount, and that's used for suspension tuning. Now the rearmost hole is the softest setting, and that's used for wet or bumpy driving conditions. Now the middle hole is used for when you want to drive around on the streets and have some fun on a Saturday afternoon. The forwardmost hole is the stiffest setting, and that should be used for aggressive track driving. Now it'll also reduce oversteer. Now which one are we going to use? Watch and see. Since Vic Edelbrock's taking this car on the Power Tour, we want him to have a smooth but fun ride, so we're going with the middle hole. Ford Racing's also helping us upgrade the GT's exhaust. Now it's the same quad exhaust system that comes on the Boss 302, with a new H-pipe, which mates up to the stock axle back pipes using the factory clamps.
Now we obviously got a new set of Ford Racing mufflers to go with this build, but I want to show you guys the easiest way to put these up in the car. So what I did was remove the hanger bracket from the front side. We'll go ahead and put it on the muffler, and everything will line up nice and easy. First, we slide it into the rear hanger, bolt the bracket in place, and clamp the muffler to the axle back pipe. In case you're wondering about this, it's a removable restrictor plate for a Boss 302 style side pipe you can use to make your GT sound like a Trans Am Series Mustang. But not until we get that E-Force installed, and that's coming up next.
EBC Extra Duty has the stopping power you need. Formulated for your truck, Jeep, or SUV, EBC Extra Duty pads bite harder and wear longer with no noise. Don't just replace. Upgrade your truck, Jeep, or SUV to EBC Extra Duty pads.
Use the best Stage 8 locking fasteners, made in the USA with 17 million installed and 0 failures. Solve your critical mechanical fastener issues, both automotive and industrial, with Stage 8, the world's best locking fasteners.
Replace your old carb with MSD's new Atomic TBI and get self-tuning EFI technology for improved performance and drivability. It's an easy bolt-on with simple wiring. Atomic TBI, only at MSDperformance.com.
If I'm going to hire somebody at my business right now, I look for the Wyotech guys. They can actually do it all. You don't really have to train them. They've already been trained. It's so nice to be able to say, hey, go make this for me, and they actually make it. That makes my job easier as a business owner. You got great instructors there that are teaching you the best way to do it. It's the best school in the nation. I know this from experience. Graduated in 1982. And now we're the largest body shop in the state of Texas. My name's Richard, and my school is Wyotech.
Get trained for the career you want at Wyotech.
Can't believe I bought a 6-inch Subway breakfast sub and got this one free.
Wow!
Buy one 6-inch sub
and get another one free
before 9 a.m.
all April long.
Subway, eat fresh.
Chances are you're not made of money, so don't overpay for boat insurance. Geico, see how much you could save.
Hey, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Definitely Dunkin'.
It's always Dunkin'. Nothing but Dunkin'.
It tastes awesome. It's my absolute favorite. I run on Dunkin'.
America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
Live with honor. Fight with passion. Defy gravity. The revolutionary MMO game. 15 million players endorsed by Jet Li. Age of Wushu.
这是你的江湖.
Play for free now at ageofwushu.com. Rated M for mature.
At Longhorn, we don't just do bacon. We do bacon on bacon. It's one of 5 juicy steaks at one tasty price, $11.99. Only at Longhorn. You can't fake steak. Or try our steakhouse lunch combos like our sirloin peppercorn melt, only $7.99.
You won't always be home to greet your kids, but you can still keep an eye out for them. With Xfinity Home, only from Comcast, the total home security and home control solution, you can manage your home from anywhere and save on your energy bill with features like remote thermostat controls and remote light and alarm controls. Plus, safeguard your home with 24/7 professional monitoring. Xfinity Triple Play subscribers. Now you can add Xfinity Home for only $29.95 a month. Plus, you can lock in your rate for 2 years and save over $200. Call 1-800-XFINITY now.
This place is great. The prices are reasonable, but how can you afford to treat all of us?
Well, I just brought some gold down the good old times, and he gave me way more than I ever expected. So I decided to take my friends out to celebrate.
I'm going to be able to pay you $5,000.
Thanks, good old Tom.
The Spectrum Plaza, 5024 North Oracle, and our newest location on 6305 East Broadway Boulevard.
It's a 5-liter Mustang GT baseline at 361 horsepower. We beefed up its bottom to handle more power. Now it's time to give this anniversary Mustang an E-Force supercharger. The first part from our kit to go on is the air-to-water heat exchanger, which installs in front of the condenser. The water pump that feeds it goes on a bracket we're mounting to the frame rail. The outlet hose from the pump installs on the inlet tube of the heat exchanger.
At this point, we can remove the stock belt and tensioner, install the new tensioner bracket and tensioner from the kit, which also includes a new idler pulley bracket and idler pulley. Next, this small fitting on the thermostat housing needs to be bent slightly outward for supercharger clearance.
Cylinder pressure from supercharger boost can literally blow out spark plug flames. So we have to remove the plugs and close our gaps down to around 34 thousandths. The O-rings we removed from the stock manifold can now go into the intake flanges on the supercharger.
Okay, now time for the main event, the E-Force unit itself. While it looks tricky on the outside, after they cast and CNC machine it at Edelbrock headquarters, they go in and install Eaton Gen 6 TBS rotors, an integrated intercooler, all in a design that incorporates 15 torque-producing inches of runner space.
Installing it is a two-man job, and you want to make sure not to pinch any wires between it and the cylinder heads.
Now back a little. Money.
I'm right over my port.
I am too.
It's secured with intake bolts from the kit, torqued to 8 foot-pounds from the inside out. Next, we lube both ends of the new 50-pound fuel injectors and install them in the supplied rails, making sure the electrical connectors face away from the blower. We can now lower the fuel rail assembly, seat the injectors, and secure the rails. The fuel inlet line goes onto the 180-degree fitting on the driver's side rail. And to get fuel to the passenger side rail, we install this crossover line. Then we can route our new, longer belt. She good.
Time now to reinstall a passenger side coolant nipple, along with the stock heater hoses, evap solenoid, and the stock throttle body. The driver's side PCV hose reinstalls onto the passenger side, running from the supercharger manifold and connects to the valve cover.
To power the water pump, a supplied harness that has a ground, plus connections to the pump and the 12-volt source. We'll use 2 exposed strut tower studs to hang the reservoir tank that holds the supercharger's coolant.
We can reinstall the foam bumper insulator, and after reconnecting fog lights and indicators, replace the fascia.
There she is.
Time to refill the coolant system and fill the reservoir tank with a 50-50 blend of water and coolant. And that's it for the E-Force installation. Now a little coil cover bling before we tune it, fire it, and take it to the street.
You're watching Horsepower. For a DVD copy of this episode, just go to PowerBlockTV.com and order your copy for just $5.95 plus shipping and handling. Start your own Horsepower collection, delivered right to your door from the Power Block.
The President's Secret Book.
It contains all of our nation's secrets. You gotta find it.
Just go! Go now! Go! The Spike premiere of National Treasure Book of Secrets, tonight at 8 on Spike.
E3 spark plugs versus basic plugs. Basic plugs burn like this. E3 like that. Basic plugs poison. E3 plugs protect. Basic plugs waste oil. E3 saves it. Basic plugs have the past. E3 plugs have the power. And we're just talking lawn equipment.
Classic Industries, America's first choice in restoration and performance parts for Camaro, Firebird, and Trans Am, Nova, Impala, GM trucks, and Mopar. The largest inventory, fast shipping, and low price guarantee. For a free catalog, call 1-888-46-CATALOG.
Who said it never rains in Southern California?
It rains bugs, tar, grime, smog, and sometimes it even actually rains. For all the above, there's Mother's California Gold Water Spot Remover for glass. Powerful mineral-dissolving agents remove any trace of hard water spots, eliminating unsafe, vision-reducing sediments from windshields, mirrors, and other exterior glass surfaces, making it the clear choice. Mother's Water Spot Remover for glass. Pure California Gold.
Let's get the happier started earlier. Head over to Taco Bell for Happier Hour, where every day from 2 to 5 p.m., you can recharge with dollar-loaded grillers or any medium drink, each for just $1.
Show it off, America. You did it right. And you went to the one place that helps you do it right, AutoZone. We have the advice, the instructions, we even loan tools, because parts are just part of what we do. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
New Jolly Rancher and new Twizzlers bites are so soft, chewy, and filled with their fruity selves. They think this world isn't big enough for the both of them. But we assure you, it is. Bites, little greatness.
Woo! Hey there! I'm your RAV4 Genie. Got any wishes?
I wish my son was safer.
Well, this RAV4 has a blind spot monitor and 8 airbags.
How about when he's not in the car?
Right. Oh, yeah! Use your knees.
The all-new RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
We heard the Whopper Jr. is only
$129.
Really?
$129.
$129?
$129.
A Fire Grill Whopper Jr.?
$129.
For how much?
$129.
Come in and enjoy a Whopper Jr. sandwich for just $1.29. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Live with honor. Fight with passion. Defy gravity. The revolutionary MMO game. 15 million players endorsed by Jet Li. Age of Wushu.
这是你的江湖.
Play for free now at ageofwushu.com. Rated M for mature.
At Haggerty, classics are all we insure because that's what we love. The Honeys, the Head Turners, the Hellraisers. Every one of them makes our heart beat faster. So whether you own one classic or 100, when it comes to insurance, choose the company built to serve you. Haggerty. Better coverage and service than everyday insurance at a savings of up to 48%. Show your love for your classic with Haggerty. We may sell insurance, but we live classics.
We're just a brief tune away from firing up the SuperCharged GT. While Mike finishes the programming, John and I are giving it some more attitude with a set of Mickey Thompson street comps mounted on Ford Racing Boss 302 wheels. 19x9 up front, 19x10 out back.
John, I'm going to prime the fuel pump twice and we'll fire it.
No leaks that I see.
All right, here we go.
Now that was a quick fire up for a really quick and painless project.
Check the injectors on that side. We're good over here. No fuel leaks. Everything's good.
I'm dry here.
Looks good. Sounds good.
Man, I'm happy with it.
See what she'll do.
Well, I got this headrest. I think I'm going to need it in a minute.
Parts quick.
Yeah, I felt that.
Instant power, instant boost. Carries it to red line like that.
He wants to break those tires loose bad.
And that's the first thing you feel, the sheer and instant torque this E-Force puts out. Then you realize this thing hooks from the new suspension, and it keeps it planted. Once you're up to speed, the 1-inch drop adds to the stability and confidence a car this fast needs.
We're going the right direction. I guess we are. I knew you were going to do that.
And of course, you've got to factor in a little bit of fun.
Oh, you actually snapped my neck. You did. Give me to the chiropractor. Well, there you go. We know what it feels like, but after a good night's rest and a doctor's visit, we're going to find out just how much power this thing actually has. Remember, the baseline horsepower number was 361 at the wheels. Wow, 493. That's just, what, 5 pounds of boost?
Pretty impressive.
I'd say so.